You suck, Jordan.
What?
No. You really do, though. Your team sucks live. Here
My
we
team's
go.
awesome. Dolphins.
Yep. It's was another crazy week in the NFL, but a great week, one of the most telling weeks of the year. And even though the world has gone batshit crazy, the NFL football is still there. It's there for all of us to see. So, Big George, how are you? What's
Not
up,
too
brother
bad,
George?
man. You're checking it out. All these games are getting taken off for COVID. We lost about 6 or 8 games this weekend already. There's a bunch of quarterbacks down. Roethlisberger's out for COVID. Baker Mayfield's out for COVID. NFL is doing one thing. They are next manning it up. We're getting the games in. College is actually postponing the games, and I'm not sure how they're going to pull everything back together. But I think you have to run it like the NFL is running it now. It's next man up. You have to. Everyone's going to get it. It's next man up, or they're going to ruin the season.
You don't cancel a game because of an injury. You shouldn't cancel it because of COVID. Somebody gets sick, they're out.
They already screwed the Niners. They already screwed the Raiders. Now.
Well, and I know the Dolphins camp. The Dolphins went into Arizona without 5 assistant coaches in that game because they were on a list. Now, I don't know if anybody actually had COVID. Flores does a really good job of keeping it all very close to the vest. He's like, if you've noticed, he's very much the version of Bill Belichick. If you watch his interviews, right? So
Patriot way, yeah.
Yeah, listen, it is what it is. It's going to be the COVID, just like it was in the NBA. The Lakers won the COVID ring, right? Somebody's going to win this year, and I would probably have an asterisk by this year because first and foremost, there's no home field advantage. If you think it doesn't make a difference when you go to Seattle or you go to New Orleans and those places are packed and that crowd noise is real, the shit they're pumping in is laughable and kind of stupid. So that real crowd noise makes it different. This is the year of COVID. All bets are off for this year. Anybody can win this Super Bowl this year because even home field advantage doesn't mean that much this year at all. And I think the numbers prove that out. So it just is what it is. It sucks. It's no fun. I'm hoping by this time next year that it's not this way and we roll into next season without, all this craziness, but we'll see. Speaking of craziness and crazy fans and delusional fans, I got to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Here I am.
And you have to give them a little bit of respect because they fought at least. They fought.
I'm sitting here in Dallas, Texas, and I'm driving to the store. I'm driving to get something to eat. I'm listening to sports radio. Of course, I'm listening to sports radio. Well, you would have thought that the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl this week. You would have thought that they're headed to get a ring based on what sports radio was talking about. Do you guys think the Cowboys are tanking? I'm assuming, Zach, you're asking us, are they tanking to get a quarterback? Everything I'm hearing on delusional sports radio here in Dallas is that that's not the case. In fact, Stephen Jones came out and said, absolutely, Mike McCarthy is their coach and he's not going anywhere. And they're going to double down on McCarthy, which means they're probably going to try to do everything they can to get Dak back in, get him healthy. I don't think they're trying to tank at all. I think that if anybody's on trial here, it's still McCarthy to see if he can get them to play hard. It's amazing to me when you go 9 weeks into a season and you're proud of your team for finally playing hard. That's ridiculous. It's like it took 9 weeks and all kind of controversy and all kinds of bullshit to get those guys to come out and play one game against a Steeler team that Ben went out for a little while. I don't know, George. This is your team, George. What the hell's wrong with them?
I think they're in a serious rebuild time, and it's going to be a couple of years before they come back and be a threat. They're not. Everyone's saying Dak, but the truth is he might be out next year as well. There's no guarantee he's going to be through this ankle injury and ready to go next year. So this is more of a project than I think, and they're going to have to ship some people out, and they're going to have to make some changes.
Yeah, I agree. So Jordan,
I mean, they scored 3, 3, and 9, right? The 3 games before this, and they go up against a Steelers team for the first time ever, 8-0. They were supposed to get absolutely destroyed. They were a 14.5-point dog, and they played them right up to the last play. They were playing them tough, and right before your bye week, they showed signs of life right before the bye week. And if you look at the Cowboys' schedule, it gets pretty easy after the bye. I mean, they could still compete for this division in a garbage division, and so there are signs of life there, and you have to respect the fact that they're competing. Finally, took them a minute.
There's no signs of life. You guys are crazy.
Luke loves you, by the way. Luke loves that take. Luke. Luke has a man crush on you now. He's always told me he's attracted to men with long red beards who say delusional things about the Cowboys. Luke, what's up? What's up, man? Luke from Africa? Luke said he's not coming back to the country until the Cowboys win.
Cool. Yeah, the Cowboys win.
See you next year, Luke.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I was more happy that they actually didn't get blown out. Like I've never been happy from losing before. Like we lost, and I was happy that they actually went out there and at least played and tried.
You sound like a Jets
fan. Wow.
And that's what the Cowboys have brought me down to. I love the Cowboys to death, but this is what they have brought me down to: is loving them winning because they try.
They have brought you down to Jets level. Congratulations, Cowboy fans. You almost won a game. Wow.
I think this is less about the Cowboys and more about the Steelers, who this entire season have played everybody close. Doesn't matter if you're great, it's down to one play, or you're terrible. It's down to one play. It's what the Steelers are. They make for some exciting football games.
Hilbert, I will shout out to King Henry right now. One of my favorite players in the NFL. I picked them to go win the Super Bowl last year. They're still a sleeper, not quite as dominant as they were, but they still have a shot, especially once the weather changes, things get cold. That team is going to be dangerous. I still believe that they have a shot to go win it all, especially this year. It's a complete toss-up. But, yes, I love King Henry. And I like Tannehill. I've always liked Tannehill. So,
there you go. The Cowboys did enough to get their participation trophy. I love that.
Yeah,
the 3 games before it, they didn't get a participation trophy.
That I am pissed off that I didn't make that comment. That is a fantastic comment, Luke. The Cowboys are going to get a participation trophy. Very happy. It's great, man. Congratulations to them. So that's awesome. So go Pack go. That's another comment. All right. We're actually going to talk about Aaron Rodgers here in a little bit. But let's talk about the GOAT. And I don't mean Aaron Rodgers, though some people think he is the GOAT. Let's talk about the GOAT who looked terrible. It's probably the worst game I've ever seen Tom Brady play. What the hell happened? His coach goes on and says, hey, Mike Evans was open, and basically saying Mike Evans was open the whole time.
Right.
He got beat up. He looked terrible. He looked 43 for the first time. George, I know you probably enjoyed the shit out of watching that. George thinks that the whole Brady experiment over there is laughable. George, what's up?
You saw it. I just said everything I said happened. Everything I said. It's him, the weakness. I think, like I said, I think I was talking to Jordan about it. I think they're better off going back to the old quarterback, Winston. They'll get better results with that kid this year because he's still turning over the ball and he's not putting up the numbers. I mean, he threw it for 90 yards. He didn't target his main receiver one time in the game. What is he doing? His average pass was 5 yards for the game for 90 yards. It's sad. I mean,
yeah, they set an NFL record for running the ball the fewest times in the history of the NFL. I think they ran it 4 or 5 times, something like that.
4 runs.
Jordan,
I mean, that's giving up. Jordan? They gave up. They gave up.
What they did? What's up with the GOAT? What's up with your boy Tom Brady? What the hell happened?
the first time ever that Tom Brady gets swept by a division rival. So I bet he's missing the AFC East for sure. And playing
Not
the
this
Jets
year. He
and
is.
the
It would be a
Dolphins.
different ballgame if he was there this year. But
I'm sure. But they looked bad. Ultimately, people have had questions about whether he's a system QB. I was talking to George about this, like he mentioned. I don't think he's necessarily a system QB, but the coaches have to play to his strengths. In New England, the system was you work closest receivers to further receivers, so you don't look for the deep ball first. You look for the easy, quick outs, which is Tom Brady's game. Throw 4 to 8 yards, get it to Edelman or get it to whoever else, get it to Wes Welker, let him make one move and you get 8 yards and you move the sticks. Whereas Arians' system is you look for the deep ball first and you force it down the field. Last year we were going, wow, Winston's terrible. He keeps forcing the ball downfield. Well, that is Arians' deep ball system, and Brady gets stuck in there, and he looks about the same with the turnovers and everything.
The last few weeks you were talking about them winning the Super Bowl. Jordan, last few weeks you were talking about them winning the Super Bowl. Everything you're saying right now has been true for every game. So
it was more evident in this one. I also thought
mix. No,
I also think that he looked too much for Antonio Brown in his first game. I mean, what about Godwin? What about Evans? What about Gronk? He was trying to force the ball to AB and really get him worked into the system, which wasn't the right thing to do. Honestly, I think they regroup. I still like them to at least be a wild card team. I mean, but I don't see them going on the road and winning 3 games, so the Super Bowl's probably out. But with that defense, they could still get hot. Just you've got to coach to Tom Brady's strengths.
Yeah, that's the comment right there. Who dat? Who dat, baby? Who dat? Everybody was counting them out.
Calling the wrong goat. You guys are calling the wrong goat.
Everybody's counting the Saints out. They won some games with a roster, right? With a bunch of injuries on that roster without Michael Thomas. They were not at full capacity. They got at full capacity and whooped that ass. They look like the Saints in that game. So my question is, are the Saints the best team in the NFC right now? George?
Yeah. There's nothing else to say. Yeah, they every week they seem to get a little bit better. They still have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He outshines Brady every time they play each other. It's laughable that everybody calls Brady the GOAT and just right in Rodgers' face. It's pretty funny.
Now, King Lukachi, you have been in Africa, so I'm assuming you didn't get to see that game. But you're delusional anyway. But I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the Saints are the best team in the NFC right now. So the Saints rolled them. So, Jordan, I know that Tampa is your team. I know you picked them to go win the Super Bowl. Every Tampa team's going to win everything. So what happened?
Well, it was ugly, right? There are 3 6-2 teams right now in the NFC. We got the Seahawks, we got the Packers, and we got the Saints. Okay? The Seahawks don't match up well against mobile quarterbacks. Luckily, the Packers and the Saints don't have them. I'm not so sure the Seahawks wouldn't match up really well. So I'm not sure the Saints are the best team in the NFC overall. On paper, their defense did show up though, and you got to like what you see. They're getting healthy at the right times. Emmanuel Sanders back, Michael Thomas back, Kamara's playing lights out. I mean, he was fantasy pick number 5, 6 this year, and he's putting up the top numbers. You got to love what you're seeing from the Saints right now, but when it comes to playoff time, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
All right, Mr. Joshua. So here's my question to our group here. Will Aaron Rodgers win another Super Bowl before he retires? And he's been balling. They're looking good. They bounce back from getting rolled by the Vikings. Will Aaron Rodgers win another Super Bowl? George?
I want to say yes, but I'm hesitant because the playoffs, they just keep finding ways to lose games. One was the referee, one was another thing, but I'm hesitant to say they're going to win a Super Bowl before he retires.
Luke, will Aaron Rodgers get another ring?
I'm gonna say no. The competition is starting to stack up against him. Like you said, you have the Dolphins coming up. You have Chiefs come pretty much dominant team. There's a lot of other dominant teams that I would see
Did you
them
really
losing to.
mention the Dolphins for the reason that Aaron Rodgers? I mean, I'm the biggest Dolphins fan on the planet, but I'm also a realist. How would the Dolphins stop Aaron Rodgers from winning the Super Bowl? I'm not seeing that. I would love it if it happened, but I don't know about that.
I'm speaking on future tense, not this year, but as far as there's a lot of good up and coming teams.
So Jordan, let's put some math to this. How many years do you think Aaron Rodgers has left to play?
Well, how old is he? 36, 37? I'd give him. I don't see him being a Tom Brady type who kind of lasts all the way through. I see him going before 40. I say maybe 2, maybe 3 years
3
left.
more years. So do the Packers over the course of the next 2 or 3 years win a Super Bowl? They got a good coach.
I like him to make a Super Bowl, but not necessarily win. I think this is a very good year for him. That Packers team is built to beat teams like maybe the Saints or the Seahawks. They don't do well against smash mouth football teams such as the 49ers, who aren't going to be in the playoffs this year. Teams that can just run it down your throat. The Titans can just run it down your throat. They don't match up very well against them. Well, there's a lot of but they match up really well against teams like Seattle, who are going to try to get in a shootout with you because Aaron Rodgers wins shootouts. And they also have an opportunistic defense. So I like them, and most of the teams that can beat them are in the AFC. So I like them to be able to go to a Super Bowl but lose in the Super Bowl in the next 2 years.
Here's my point, is that their draft. They drafted a quarterback. They drafted their future quarterback. So my question is, why do you do that when you know you need help on defense? And you know you need some more playmakers, and possibly you do it next season. Obviously, they're not going to draft a quarterback, but you have 3 years left. You have basically 2 drafts left, or really 1 draft left to make an impact, unless you just knock it out of the park and get players that can start and contribute right away. But you really got 1 more draft left to get Aaron Rodgers the team he needs around him to win a Super Bowl. And the way that they have drafted has been a head scratcher to me. If you want to win right now, you would have filled in a hole, with that first round pick. So I'm going to say no, because they got their head up their ass with how they're doing their draft picks, and they're not finding the right players to complement him enough to win a Super Bowl. That's my take.
You guys are all AFC player fans. Everyone's just calling the AFC out already. AFC's winning for the next 5 years.
I didn't say that.
You might as well. You guys all just shit on the NFC teams. All the NFC teams.
Not necessarily.
Speaking of that, let's talk about Tua. Let's talk about Kyler Murray. The future, right? What a ball game that was. What a great ball game that was. Now, there's been a lot of talk of fake news in the last 2 or 3 years. And I think we experienced it in the sports world with the Miami Dolphins and Tua. Some genius figured, because the Dolphins were going to get an early round pick from the Texans, that they were going to make up a story that the Dolphins are just putting Tua in just to audition him to see what they had. Well, Flo schooled the media this week. He told them by no uncertain terms was that true, and then Tua went out and balled. He is going to play the players that are going to give that team the best chance to win. You know why? Because he's a great coach. And so when they started that report, it's just a bunch of BS. And it's just indicative of the world we live in now. They just write anything they want. To say that you're going to, when you're in playoff contention, you have a defense that's playing well, and all of a sudden you replace Fitzpatrick, it was going to give them the best chance to go furthest in the playoffs and win. And he proved it. Now, it's only 1 game, no doubt about that, but he looked good. And so did Murray. My only issue with Murray is that Kingsbury thinks he's playing Madden, and that kid's going to get killed if he keeps running that much with him, but he's incredibly talented. He, Jordan, is a better quarterback right now than your guy, Lamar Jackson. You know why? Because he can throw it way better than Lamar can, and he runs pretty much equal to Jackson right now. George, what is your take on Tua and Murray?
No response.
What happened there? Yeah,
getting
to you. Relax. I'm getting to you.
Tua looked amazing. Tua went out there and did what a lot of people thought he could do. He was in Alabama. He looked like a star. I'm sure the coaches and everyone saw him practicing and whooping ass. It wasn't a gamble. They did this educated move. They actually put him in on the bye. They did everything smart. They've done everything right in Miami this year. There's unfortunately, I want to see some missteps, but they've made every right move. And there's no reason to talk about it. What are they holding on to? Fitzpatrick? Let's get Fitzpatrick. We got to hold on to and get Fitzpatrick some time. What the hell are you talking about? It was Tua's team. It's Tua's time, and they're doing all the right moves. Unfortunately,
Jordan, go.
Well, you mentioned Lamar Jackson. He's on a 31-game streak of scoring at least 20 points. That's by far the longest in the league. Okay. He just came from behind for the first time ever to win one. I'm going to go back to Tua, but I would still take Lamar Jackson over Murray right now. Okay, I would take Murray over Tua. It's too early to tell on Tua, but Tua is 2-0. I mean, Tua looks great. He should definitely be the starter, but keep in mind, Murray was up against a much better defense. That Cardinals defense isn't nearly as good as Miami's defense. Miami's defense is downright scary. You're trying to throw at Byron Jones and Xavier Howard on the outside. Ogba's been getting there. The Cardinals defense, hit or miss. So I thought it was a better performance from Murray than Tua, even though Tua won the game. But it was exactly what we wanted to see from Tua. If you noticed last week, I told you that we were going to be talking about a shootout between Murray and Tua this week, and that's exactly what everybody's talking about. I wasn't worried about the 90-yard performance, and I think Brian Flores, regardless of the talks that went on behind closed doors, said exactly what he needed to say and exactly what you would expect him to say in the situation. And regardless of what happened behind closed doors, of course he's going to say that when Tua passes his audition.
You see, this is where he passes his audition. This is where you don't understand great leaders. If you think Brian Flores is a great leader, and you think he is a great coach, which I believe he is already. I think he proved that last year, actually. There is no way the front office comes in there and says, you have to play this kid because we have to see what he has. There's no way.
No, I don't think it happened like that. But if he was on the fence, he could have been pushed, and it ended up being the right move. So it's immaterial. We'll never know.
It makes no sense at all. That makes no sense at all. He is seeing what we saw in the game in practice. He's seeing a player. Exactly. I mean, Tua had a couple runs there. The kid is incredibly athletic, and if you know football, some of the throws he made were
fantastic.
Were like insane throws.
One of the best things about him was the way he's reading the defense, how he's checking the defense. Incredible for that young. The way he was moving his feet and just getting little steps out of the pocket to find space was incredible.
No interceptions in your first two games. How many quarterbacks have done that? And against two arguably fairly good defenses, he looked very good. I'm looking at Kevin Bryant's comment that he would take Burrow over all of them. I definitely wouldn't take Burrow over Kyler Murray. And really, Burrow's accuracy, he's not very mobile. Burrow's accuracy, I see the same thing in Tua. Tua is deadly accurate. He throws a really pretty pass, and Tua has a lot more maneuverability. Tua said after the game he felt like he was running through quicksand, that he wasn't nearly as fast as he was expecting to be.
He lost his go-to guy has been Preston so far, and he lost him. He didn't have him. In fact, that the touchdown pass that ended up winning the game for them really was to a third-string tight end.
Collins.
Right? Yeah, to
third
Collins.
Wide receiver.
Sorry, it's like a fifth-string or sixth-string wide receiver. And the ball was so perfectly thrown that anybody could have caught it. That's the point, is that I've never seen a kid that young come in and do what he did. I was nervous about the game. I was like, is this kid going to be, I was really shocked. Like some of the throws, and not only were the throws incredibly accurate, they were clutch. Like 3rd and 9 from almost their goal line when they're losing the game, and he has to make a perfect throw to keep the drive going, and he did. I was shocked, quite honestly. Right?
He looked good just like he did in Bama. He's the real deal, and that's a great question. On who would you take? Would you take Burrows? Would you take either Murray? There's so many great.
What about Herbert's got to be in the conversation?
Yeah, Herbert's there. I mean, Murray, Tua. There's a lot of good quarterbacks.
You get Herbert, Tua next week, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Herbert Tua will be good.
And in 3 weeks, you got Burrow Tua, so he's going to get both of them. So we're really going to get to see. I feel like Tua and Burrow are both a lot more accurate than Herbert is.
Hey guys, I saw a note there. If anybody ever wants to come on the show with us, just send us a note. Send us some kind of an email through our channel here, and we'll see what we can do about getting you on. We'd love to have anybody on that knows football,
especially the Green Bay Packers fans. Those are always fun too.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Yeah. So just send us a note, and Lucaci there will get you set up. All right. So here's my next question. First of all, Cam squeaked by the Jets. I mean, he squeaked by him. How does Adam Gase still have a job? And I mean, the Patriots done? I still think they're done. I don't think they look that impressive against a terrible team against Joe Flacco. And I think they're done. Real quick, George, Patriots done or not?
They're done. They're playing a practice squad. There's not much there.
Jordan?
Well, they're certainly done this year. Right?
That's what I mean.
Who knows how fast they'll be able to rebuild or whatnot with Belichick, but the dynasty left with Tom Brady.
Hey, George, okay? The Jets, by that definition, no teams are done. Every year's a new year. So,
no. The Jets are going to be a 3 or 4 year rebuild. Okay? The Jets are going to be a while. I think that game told you the most about Darnold. And if you get Trevor Lawrence, you move off of him because Joe Flacco took that Jets team and made him look all right. I mean, it makes you question whether Darnold is as good as you think, and he just doesn't have the pieces around him, really.
Well, they had the Jets had, I think, 3 wide receivers back for that game last night. So, I mean, Adam Gase has his moments, as an offensive coordinator. Every once in a while, they'll put together something decent. The problem is it's only every once in a while. It's not consistent at all. So next question here is for Luke, since Luke is my Cowboy delusional fan. Are the Steelers, Luke, as good as their record? They're an undefeated team? Are they the top team in the NFL? And are they as good as their record?
To be honest, I'm not sure because they haven't really played any top tier teams. They've always played some mediocre to
Tennessee and the Ravens. I mean, those are pretty top tiers.
Yeah, and they played them close, both of them. But yeah, they played 2 good teams.
George, Jordan, go ahead.
No, go, George. What do you got?
I think they're the cream of the crop right now. I think the puzzles, the pieces of the puzzle are just meshed perfectly for that team, and they're poised to win this season. I think this is their season to lose. Everybody else is kind of struggling, except the Steelers. Everybody else is sort of struggling.
Yeah, it was very impressive what they did against the Cowboys, quite honestly. They didn't play their best game. Obviously, Ben went out of the game, came back in, and then promptly beat the Cowboys. Mika Fitzpatrick makes another play to seal the game.
Right.
They're just
that Notre Dame receiver's out of his mind. The Claypool, they've got so many good weapons there. The team's good. The defense is great. They're trouble.
Yeah, well, they really game plan and make all their weapons look good. Like Deontay Johnson, Claypool, whoever their number 2 wide receiver is, as long as Ben is upright, he looks good. And their defense is always great, number 1 in sacks. But my question is, can Big Ben get healthy? I mean, after the game, they said he has COVID and injuries to both knees. I mean, that's not good. Forget the COVID.
Yeah.
He injured both knees in one game. I mean, he's an old dude, too, and he takes a lot of hits.
He's always injured. They hobble up to the line. It's not like he needs a lot of mobility. The COVID thing, every athlete, they're getting through it in 1 week. Literally.
Not worried about COVID.
So
I'm just saying you take 2 knee injuries.
My son who's a college athlete got through it in 1 week as well, too. So, yeah, these guys are in great shape. Their immune systems are incredibly strong. It's a 1 week deal for the most part. And I think the Steelers have a bye. As well, so I think that they'll have Ben back for the next game.
And then, they have a really easy schedule after the bye as well. The only one they really have is the Ravens. You circle that as the one who beats them. But the pressure of being undefeated puts a big target on your back, which they have right now. They're obviously the team to beat. You saw the Cowboys step up. We're playing the Steelers. We're bringing our A game. Everybody's going to do that, and we'll see what happens.
You know, everybody wants to knock off the king. Everybody wants to knock off the king. So it's always, like the saying goes, heavy is the head that, the crown wears the crown. And they're wearing the crown right now. They're undefeated. So everyone brings their best game. You're going to see a lot of best games, but they're always going to just find ways to win because that's what they do.
Yeah, I want to clean something up real quick from Kevin Bryan. And this is for you, Jordan, because you said Burrow is not very mobile, but I think he is actually very mobile. If you've watched him, he's very sneaky mobile. I actually agree with Kevin. He's right. You're wrong, Jordan. And I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Except that it would be really hard right now, from what I've seen, from these quarterbacks to come out to say that you wouldn't take Joe Burrow first. I mean, he's on arguably the worst team, the worst supporting cast of any team that was drafted. Tua's got a defense. Herbert's got some great wide receivers and a good offensive line. I mean, what does Burrow have except Burrow? And he's got players, but
he's got a lot of weapons there.
Great wide receivers.
All the same ones they had last year, right?
Sure, but he's got great wide receivers. He's got a good running back. That's about it.
Man, they had the number one pick 3 years in a row almost. So
And I like that coach a lot. I think he's got a good coach. But tell me, what rookie or second year quarterback isn't mobile? I mean, even Daniel Jones was like fast as fuck. Come on,
because that's the modern quarterback. There's no doubt about that. But
you
said he's not very mobile. You said he's not very mobile, and he called you out. That's all I'm saying. So, all right. One more. I'm not going to have time to get to the Vikings today, but the Vikings are coming. Are the Raiders sleeping giants right now? Are the Raiders are under the radar? Nobody's talking about the Raiders, but they just kind of keep winning, and they beat the Chiefs. And so I'm just wondering, are the Oakland Raiders a sleeping giant and have a shot to just surprise everybody and win the whole damn thing? George?
No.
Yeah, I've been saying it all year. I've been telling you guys all year the Raiders are for real. They have a huge line. They're getting healthy again. And Carr is playing out of his mind. He's actually throwing the ball downfield. He's hitting the big passes, hitting the small passes. He's protecting the ball. They look amazing. They got players and all the weapons are there. They could definitely make a run.
Jordan?
I agree with everything he said, except for the fact that they're contenders to win it all. Because yes, everything you mentioned was on offense, which when they're clicking looks great. They'll run the ball down your throat. If Josh Jacobs stays healthy, he's awesome. Carr's he should at least get a mention in the MVP conversation with his numbers. He looks very good. But that defense, you can't win it all without a defense. And their defense is not very good.
They're not bad. That team is better than you think. I'm telling you right now. That defense is not bad either. They have some injuries. They have some good young players. Every time they come hard. So it's gonna be a tough out. And it's hard to say they don't have a shot when they already knocked out the Chiefs.
I think they're a tough out. I do, but I'm going to surprise Joshua here. You say Gruden's done it before, but Gruden's only done it with another guy's team. He did it with Tony Dungy's team, and that's a fact. He took that team over. That team was built already. He probably brought a little bit more grit to that team, and they won a Super Bowl. Gruden to me scares me at times with some of the things he does, but I do think that they're playing really well, and I do think they've drafted well. But that defense is a little dicey. But I think they're young and they can get better before the season comes along. Luke, wrap it up for us, Luke.
I don't have much to say. It's Cowboys Nation over here, so I just need my Cowboys to step it up so I could get back to talking shit. Other than that, the rest of the NFL can. I'll see y'all soon.
Well, Luke, really, if that's the case, is that the Cowboys need to be good again for you to talk shit? That means you shouldn't have been talking shit for the last 20 years.
Ooh, shots fired.
I'm gonna always find a way to get my jokes in. They come in.
Yeah, you've been talking shit about your 8-8 Cowboys for 20 years. 8-8 Cowboys for 20 years.
If you look at the Cowboys record, there's a lot of winnable games in it. I like them to lose a couple. I mean, they could still easily go 7-9 this season and compete for the division. Not easily, but it could happen if they get right after the bye. I think they found a better quarterback than Dalton, better backup, basically. Not Dak, of course.
All of our official lines are brought by You Wager. And Jordan, I think you should go on there and you should lay down some money on what you just said, and then promptly make that donation to the sports book, because ain't no damn way the Cowboys are winning 7 games. No way. And we'll take it off. I'll take that as well too. I think
they might just surprise
that one as well too.
I think the over under right now is 3.
Yeah, they already have 2.
No, 3
right.
Going forward.
Well, 3 going forward puts them at 5.
I would say they're going to get maybe 5 wins if they're lucky, because there's so many shitty teams in the East. They might steal a win or 2 here, but
they have a pretty easy schedule coming up. If you look at it, very easy schedule.
There's no.
It doesn't matter.
Schedule for
they are probably the second worst team in the league right now.
I don't know. Every team is hard. As of right now, every team is hard.
They have a lot of talent there compared to the teams they're playing. If they can get right after their bye, which could happen, coming off of this moral victory and actual defeat against the Steelers, you never know.
All right, so we do our next show Thursdays right around the same time, and Kevin Bryan, this is the prediction right here Kevin's making. So Luke put up the last comment there. Nope, keep going down. There we go. Kind of got here late. An upset by the Bengals. He's basically saying the Bengals are going to beat the Steelers by 3 points. Is that right? Do they play each other next week?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I think losing is a good thing for the Steelers. They need to lose a game, not going into the playoffs undefeated. You always need to lose a game or 2. I think it's a big.
Hey, stranger things have happened.
We've gone way over time because we get excited about the NFL. Way over time, but we're going to call it a show. Like, share, all that. Thanks to our friends at UWager for bringing us the lines, and we're going to see you next time. George, what's up?
Kevin's right. Cincinnati's a live dog.
For
Jordan,
sure.
Luke?
I love that. Yeah.
Send us off, Luke.
I'm in Africa right now. It's
Peace.
pretty nice. Peace.
See ya.